Okay, so this is our snowboard. Our snowboard is made of a few different parts. We've got this side here, this is called the deck, and this side here, this is called the base. The base is what is in contact with the snow when we're going down the slope. As a beginner, we're going to be avoiding putting that base in contact with the snow, and we're going to be using these things here. So this is the heel edge, this runs alongside your heel, and this is the toe edge here, which runs alongside your toe. So these are metal edges. We're going to use them in this first lesson to be slowing ourselves down on the mountain. Later on, you can come to use them to help you turn as well. At the end of each of the edges, we've got at this end we've got the nose, and down this end we've got the tail. For a lot of boards like this one, they're twin direction, so it doesn't matter which is which. The nose is in front of you, the tail is behind you. Awesome. Then on this side of the board, we've got the deck here. This is where your feet will go, so you never want to have your feet on this side of the board. If you have them there, something's going very wrong. Then we've got your bindings here. So your bindings are made of a few different parts. You've got this thing here, this is your high back, and then we have two straps. You've got your ankle strap here and your toe strap here. The straps are made of two different parts. You've got your ratchet here, and you've got a ladder here. So you're going to push the ladder into the ratchet like this, and you're going to push back on the ratchet to do up the binding. Then when you want to undo the binding, you're going to pull back on that ratchet and take it back off. Okay, so what we're going to have a go at now is some skating. So when we're on the flat or when we're going for lifts on a snowboard, we have one foot strapped into the board, the other is we're using to push like when we're on a skateboard. So basically what we're doing when we're skating is we're skating in our front leg is pointing the direction we want to go. We're going to have our back foot always behind the board, and we're doing small pushes from our front foot to our back foot like this. You want to make sure your shoulders are nice and square. If we're twisting our shoulders, we're going to struggle to go in the direction we want to go. We're going to end up turning one way or the other. So we'll have a go at doing this. We'll do a couple pushes on the snow, and then you can jump on. A couple pushes, and jump on. Yes. Cool. All right, so we're on a beginner slope now. So when we're on the mountain, you've got to be aware that there's lots of other skiers and snowboarders learning to ski. So the first thing we're going to try now is we're just going to go into our snowboarding stance. So what that is imagine your feet strapped into those bindings, and you want to be nice and flexed into the bindings. In snowboarding, we only want to bend our knees and our ankles. It's a good idea to imagine that you've got a little tennis ball strapped into your ankles. You're trying to squish them there, not let them come out. You never want to be bending at the waist. Okay, so we're trying to keep our upper body nice and straight, arms by our sides, head looking in front of us. What you'll find is if you then push your knees all the way forward, you're trying to push your knees forward in front of you, your heels are going to lift up off the snow. Same thing on this side. If you're bending your knees, moving your way backwards, your toes are going to lift up off the snow. So when we're strapped into our board, what this is going to do is move our body weight onto our edge. Okay, so we're going to start with the toe edge side slip. So we've just strapped in, we're sitting down on our bum. First thing we're going to try and do is flip over. So we do something called a ninja flip. So we're going to take one hand, put it behind our leg here, and we're going to pull our board over our body like that. Okay. So now on our toe edge, we're going to push up and dig our toes into the snow. Okay. So you'll see now that my knees are nice and bent, I'm flexed over my board, and I'm gripping the snow with that toe edge. When I want to start moving, I'm going to extend upwards, move my body weight into the center of the board, and I'll start to slide down the hill. When I want to stop, I'm going to get lower again, move my body weight over the toes. Slide. Just some common mistakes on that toe edge side slip. What we always see is people look down and then they start reaching down like this. We can't put any pressure on our toe edge if we're leaning over like this. It's very important we're keeping our upper body straight, not bending at the hips. Another one, making sure we're not twisting like this. We want to keep our arms by our side, find a focal point at the top of the slope and look up the whole way. And then the last one that's very common is people do up, down, up, down, up, down, very quick movements with the knees. We want to try and do really slow movements, find the biting point where we start to move, and then go slowly down. So this one, it's the same motion. We're bending our knees, moving our weight back over the heels. Okay, so we're going to get up from this position and we're going to slide down the hill that way. Getting up from this position is quite difficult in snowboarding, so I'm going to give you some tips on how to stand up. So we can start off by putting one hand in the snow. We can use our front hand to grab onto the toe edge, and we can lean over the nose or the tail so we're not getting up over our knees. So just have a watch of this. Like that. Okay, so bending our knees, moving our weight backwards, okay? When we want to start going, we're going to extend up and we'll start to move down again to slow ourselves down. Bending up.
Starting to slide already, right? As soon as I start to sit back, let's slow down. If I lean back more, I'm going to fall over. If I start leaning forward again, I'm going to move.
We're going to move on to adding some direction into our side slip. So far we've been going straight down the slope. Now we're going to do some diagonals going right and left. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to move our body weight from the center across the board onto one foot or the other foot and look in the direction we want to go. It's easy to imagine this as our legs are in the shape of a house like this. If we want to go that way, we're going to collapse one of the walls of the house so that all our weight is on this front foot, and we're going to have our shoulder, knee and toe all in line, head looking in the direction we want to go. Okay, when we want to stop, we're going to bring everything back to the center, reform our house, slow ourselves down, then go on to the other diagonal, collapsing that knee in, looking that way, shoulder, knee, toe all in line. So have a watch and then you can come down.
Okay, that's the hardest part.
Okay, so we've done our diagonals and we're now going to introduce a new movement into our snowboarding. So we're going to start using the twist of the board. So if you push down on one toe and lift up one heel, you can feel that board twist underneath you. So we're going to be using this now to turn down towards the fall line. Okay, so we're going to still be doing our diagonals on our toe edge at first, and what we're going to do is we're going to push down on our front heel. And what that's going to do is turn us down towards the fall line. Then when we want to turn back across the fall line, we're going to push back onto that toe. Okay? So have a watch of what I'm doing, and then you can give it a go. Okay, so we're going to do our diagonals, go across the hill. Watch my hands. My hands are doing what my feet are doing. Okay? On our toes. Okay, so we've started to understand the twisting of the board, so we're now going to put that into our first basic turns, okay? So what we were doing on the last one was just using our front foot, going from our toe edge, pushing down onto that heel edge, and then back onto the toe. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go still diagonal across the slope, push down on our front heel to turn us down into the fall line. Then we're going to finish off the turn by pushing on our back heel. Okay, and that's going to change our edge, so we're going from our toe edge to our heel edge, facing down the hill. Some common mistakes with this one is that you twist your body, so we want to make sure that our upper body is staying completely still, in line with our legs, and the other common mistake here is leaning backwards. If you don't lean forwards during the turn, if you don't have your weight over that front foot, you're not going to be able to engage that front heel, and well, both times when you go onto the heel edge, okay? So we want to try and lean forward in our turn, keep our shoulders square, and use that pedal. So have a watch of me coming down here, and then you can give it a go. My hands are doing what my feet are doing. that's the end of the lesson. You've progressed from toe and heel edge side slips all the way up to basic turns.